So there are only 3 players in history that have more green jackets than Phil Mickelson. Lefty's 3 Masters titles, only bested by Arnold Palmer, Tiger Woods, and Jack Nicklaus. His last win at Augusta came in 2010. This year, he's 50 years old, heading into the Masters this week, and if he does win another title, Mickelson will become the oldest champion, besting Nicklaus in 1986 at the age of 46 for the Golden Bear. This will be Mickelson's 29th appearance at the Masters, and he'll look to shake off a bit of a poor performance last week at the Valero Texas Open. He tied his second highest score on tour in the opening round. Now, he did bounce back on Friday, but not enough to get to the weekend. Again, a 3-time Masters champion. The first one came in 2004. All right, with a look ahead, we got Jim Bones Mackay joining us here on CBS Sports HQs with our friends, obviously, at NBC Sports, the Golf Network. So spending a lot of time with Lefty, of course, 2.5 decades there, Bones. What are some of your fondest memories being with Phil Mickelson at the Masters?
Well, certainly the wins. Early on in his career, when that Tiger Woods fellow was doing his thing and just dominating the game, it was not that easy to get the monkey off your back in terms of winning your first major. Phil was 34 when he finally won the Masters there in 2004. And it was just an incredible feeling. He did it in amazing fashion, shooting 31 on the back, I think birding 5 of the last 7 and making that putt on 18 and got off that huge jump that we all saw. But it's just a place, certainly you grow up watching the Masters as a child, and I don't care if you're caddying or playing, to ultimately get there, to walk on those grounds, to be as invested with the player as I was with Phil, to see him, his dreams in a sense come to fruition was amazing. And just something you'll never forget.
Phil was the last golfer, Bones, to win the event before the Masters and then also the Masters. And we have another former champion in Jordan Spieth looking to join a very short list right there. How difficult is it? Because golfers, I'm sure, they want to be informed, they want to be playing well, but obviously accomplishing this feat is very tough to do.
It is. That's a great point. Phil actually in 06 won the week before in Atlanta by 13. And so he was playing, this amazing style of golf, but you get there the next week and you wonder if it can carry over. I think the thing that he had to manage then, and that Jordan has to be very careful about this week, is rest. Because certainly when you're playing in the run up to the Masters, as Jordan has done, it takes a little something out of you, but winning takes way more out of you, because certainly the mental stress that you go through in terms of what he was battling last week, even more so for Jordan because he'd been experiencing such a drought. It's not easy. So hopefully he won't play too many holes in practice this week. He's got incredible mojo there, as we've seen. He's got a win. He feels very at home. He's got those great hands around the green. He's going to be a huge force this week. I have him and DJ as the 2 most obvious favorites. And it could be, it could be 2 in a row for Jordan, which sounds crazy given it went 3.5, 4 years without winning, but he's got to be really feeling it right now.
I think golf fans certainly enjoy it, and really the Masters in golf is better when Jordan Spieth is competing for these titles, Bones. So when you get asked about toughest holes at Augusta National, I'm sure you get asked about it a lot. What's usually the answer?
Well, so much of it has to do with the wind, and certainly because the tournament's being played in the spring, in April this year, as it's supposed to, as opposed to November last year. You get those spring winds, if you will, and you get down there in Amen Corner on the 12th hole, which is this incredibly pedestrian par 3 in terms of length. When you get there, it's just 145 to maybe 154 yards. But so much can go wrong there because the wind bounces around off these trees right and left of the green, as we're seeing here in the picture. The green's very, very narrow. It's only about 11 or 12 yards deep, and it can just strike all kinds of fear in your heart because you're not absolutely sure about what club you're hitting. You know that there's been disasters there over the years. We saw Tiger, in a sense, go a long way to winning the tournament in 2019 when the players he was up against kept on hitting it in the water down the stretch there on 12. So it could make a huge difference. And then for me personally, if you drive the ball in the fairway on 15, which is a reachable par 5, and you're playing an iron shot over water, again with the winds severely downhill, there's water behind the green, all kinds of trouble. That's a tough club to pull. But it's the Masters, and it's Augusta National, and these players are obsessed with winning it. It's not easy to win it for the first time. and to kind of get over that hump, it takes an awful lot, and it'll be incredible to see what guys are dealing with this week as they try to get their hands on their first green jacket or another one.
Yeah, I love that. Some great insight. And we talked about DJ, a different time in the fall. The field should be stronger this time. Back in our natural sort of April calendar mark there, Bones. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing this year on tour in terms of partnerships, and what more can you tell us?
Well, I have this partnership with Aon, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, insurance companies in the world. And they have this amazing competition each year called the Aon Risk Reward Challenge, which is basically about strategy and decision making. And they pick a hole each week that the players will ultimately play either 2 or 4 times. And then you take your 2 lowest scores on that particular hole. And the holes are thought about very, very carefully. It's about holes like we just talked about with Augusta National, where a lot can go right and a lot can go wrong. When the competition takes place next, it'll be on the 15th hole at Hilton Head next week. And it's a very reachable par 5 that you can make a birdie, maybe even an eagle on, but it can go wrong too in terms of not reading the wind or getting the club selection right. You can make 6s or 7s. So it's a competition that goes on over the course of the year that rewards the player, and I'd like to think too the caddy, that do the best job in terms of strategy and decision making. And it's about that trusted advisor and being on that big stage and making those important decisions and calls at the right time.
And again, that picks up at Hilton Head after the Masters tournament. But before I let you go, if I were to peg you and put you on the spot of having one in this scenario at Augusta National, you got an answer for me?
Picking a winner this week?
No, in terms of the risk reward, what you just laid out, which resumes at Hilton Head, which hole would that be on Augusta National on that course? You got it.
I'm definitely going 15. It's just in my 28 years as a caddy, certainly caddying for guys down the stretch that had a chance to win. When they drive the ball in the fairway and you're up on this crest of a hill and you're feeling that wind, and again, how small the green plays and how firm it can be, water short, so much can go wrong, and it's time to really dig deep and make an incredible decision. And there's so much to factor in. I know that when on those occasions when Phil did win that championship, he had all kinds of adrenaline pumping through his body, and all of a sudden you're hitting your 8-iron and your 6-iron 15 yards further than you normally do. It's about managing all of those things and getting it right, and I would definitely pick that hole.
And since you brought it up, who do you like this week?
I like Jordan Spieth. I think that DJ is undoubtedly the best player in the world at this moment, and able to ride an incredible wave of momentum. But I think that there's something really cool and interesting going on with what Spieth is doing. I live here in Phoenix. He started to turn it around at this year's Waste Management Phoenix Open with a 61 on Saturday. And a lot of it's about mojo, and certainly DJ's got that mojo, having won at Augusta just a few months ago. But Jordan Spieth, I'm sure if it was up to him, every single men's golf event will be played at Augusta National. He's just that comfortable there on that golf course. You don't have to be perfect off the tee. You can get away with some misses, which has been Jordan's bugaboo, when he was experiencing that drought over 3 or 4 years. But I think he's about 95% of the way back. And I look for him to get a little further back this weekend.
Bones Mackay joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Bones, certainly appreciate it. Stay safe, be well, and we'll talk soon.
Anytime. Thanks so much for having me on. You guys take care.
And just a reminder, CBS Sports is your home for the Masters as well as Paramount Plus. We have you covered on the digital side, CBS Sports app, and of course the traditional way on television. CBS, your home. Coverage provided by Masters.com.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.